What is up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my yearly favorites. Towards the end of this year, I didn't wear a lot of makeup just because of school and things like that. I didn't really film a lot of sit-down videos, so the only time I really wore makeup towards the end of the year was when I was taking pictures. Otherwise, a lot of my makeup wearing was done in between the months of January and September. So I don't have a lot of favorites, but I do have quite a few favorites, so fingers crossed this video is not too long. So the first favorite that I have of the year is going to sound as corny as it sounds, is going to be my hair company that I launched. I launched my baby on April 2nd, so she's almost a year old, and I am still doing a sale. So if you buy any 3 bundle deals, you get a free closure. So I will leave that information down in the description box as well. But that is my favorite, one of my favorites of the year, because it takes a lot to run a business, and it takes a lot to market yourself and promote yourself and things like that. So yeah, that's my first favorite. So other than that, we're going to jump right into the makeup favorites because I don't want this video to be too long. Okay, starting out, we're going to start out with primers. So my first favorite is something you guys have seen me use a lot. I've talked about a lot. This is the Urban Decay Rehab Makeup Prep Hot Springs Hydrating Gel. So this is what this looks like. It is, like it says in the name, it is a gel consistency. And during this time, during the winter time, my skin gets dry in certain areas. I still have combination skin, so my T-zone, like in this area, would get oily, and then I'll get like dry patches, like this random patch like on my forehead will get dry. So during this time, when the seasons start to get colder, this is really good. It definitely helps hydrate my skin, and makeup, foundation preferably, lays on top of it really nice, and I don't have to worry about it messing up my makeup and making my makeup look ugly. So I really enjoy this. My second primer favorite, this is the Too Faced Hangover RX. I always like pair these two together. I'll put this on first and then I'll put this on. I love how my makeup lays on top of these together. I do use them, you know, not together sometimes, and I love the way my foundation lays on both of them separately, but I typically use these together. These are a match made in heaven for me personally, and I love them. This does hydrate my skin a little bit. It smells really good, and this is the small version, and I need to get the bigger version because I'm running out of this. So these are my 2 primer favorites for the year 2018. We are going to talk about foundation. So the first foundation, this is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation. I am in the shade 450, and I love this foundation. It is a more watery consistency, but it is a matte finish. It's not too matte, but it is a matte finish. It lasts all day. This is like my perfect shade. I have the foundation on today. Keep in mind, I've had this makeup on for a couple of hours now, and I've been out and doing stuff. So, but for it to have been on for as long as it has, it still looks great. I'm not oily. It sits on the skin really nicely. It doesn't emphasize any texture that I have, and the shade range is amazing. So I really love my Fenty Beauty foundation. I heard she just came out with Pro Filter concealers. I haven't gotten them yet, but I definitely want to check them out because if it's anything like this foundation, I know I will love it. The next 2 foundation favorites that I have are drugstore. So this is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation. I love this foundation. This is one of my favorite drugstore foundations. The shade range is a little trash for this foundation. This, I'm pretty sure, this is 13 Chestnut, is the darkest shade. I wish they would expand their shade range. I was a little scared when I got this because I thought it wouldn't work for me, but it did, and I'm really excited. It does have an interesting little pump, but nonetheless, I love the formula. It lasts on me. Like I said, the shade is almost spot on, so I definitely recommend this. And then my last drugstore favorite, this is the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Foundation. I remember when everybody was talking about this, and I got my hands on it. I am in the shade 360 Mocha. Again, I'm sorry y'all, it comes with a pump, and this is definitely, it is a matte foundation. Again, it stays in place all day. I never had any problems with this foundation. It never made my skin look cakey or disgusting, because sometimes my skin does not want to work with me, and some foundations just make my skin look worse. But all of the foundations that I've mentioned so far, I love, no matter what my skin is doing that day. They sit on top of my skin well. They don't feel too heavy. They don't feel like I have on makeup, but they're still full coverage. So I love all of these foundations. An honorable drugstore mention is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I've talked about it before, so I didn't want to mention it in this video, but if you're looking for another drugstore foundation, I definitely recommend that one because I love that one as well. So next we're going to move on into concealers. So my first concealer favorite, this is the Sephora Gel Serum. Y'all, why can't I get this right? The Sephora Bright Future Gel Serum Concealer. I have mine in the shade number 16. And I'm a little late on the bandwagon, but I really love this concealer when I'm just like, I don't know what concealer to put on my face for the day. This is the one that I typically reach for. The shade is amazing. The formula is amazing. I'm pretty sure you could still get this concealer. I've been hearing that Sephora has been discontinuing a lot of their things in the Sephora collection, so I'm pretty sure you can still get this concealer if you can get your hands on it. If I can remember correctly, the shade range is decent. I'm not going to say it's the best, but I'm pretty sure the shade range is decent, so you should be able to find your shade. And if you can, I definitely recommend this concealer because it is one of the best. It is what I have on today and it blends out amazing, so get your hands on this if you can. My next concealer favorite, I feel like you guys know this is coming. You may not. I don't know. But this is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. I love this concealer. And I don't know if you guys remember when I hauled this concealer and I was like, ColourPop needs to come out with a foundation, and they did. Now I haven't tried it yet, unfortunately. I haven't really bought a lot of new makeup, and you guys will be able to tell that by like my favorites because I'm using a lot of old makeup, but I just haven't been in the mood to buy new makeup. But I love this concealer. I've heard people who have like dry under eyes say that this is not the best concealer for them, but I personally don't have dry under eyes, so maybe that's why I love this concealer. So I guess if you have not dry under eyes, you would really like this concealer. The shade range is actually pretty nice, and from what I can remember, they did expand the shade range for their concealers as well, so everyone should be able to find a shade. And I think this was only like $5 or $7. Like, it wasn't expensive at all, and you can always find a sale or something, or a coupon code or something for ColourPop. So I definitely recommend this concealer. And last but not least, please do not come in the comments clowning me because this concealer has been booted out by a lot of new concealers this year, or well, last year for 2018. But this is the Tarte Shape Tape. Now listen, I haven't tried any of the new concealers like the Jouer or the Born This Way concealer. I haven't tried any of those, so I'm still holding on to my Tarte Shape Tape. Granted, when they came out with the Shape Tape foundation, they kind of blew me with the shade range, so they were canceled for a little bit. But then I'm like, I spent my money on it, so I might as well use it. But I do feel like if I was to use some of the newer concealers that are out on the market, this would probably get booted out of my favorites too, but I haven't gotten around to using those. So Tarte Shape Tape is still a favorite, so I know, don't come for me in the comments. I know I'm late. Just let me be late. Just let me be late, please. Okay, next we're going to talk about powders. So I have an under eye setting powder. This is the e.l.f. Sheer. I don't know what this is called because there's not really a name on it, but what this powder in sheer, this is my jam. No matter what my skin looks like or how dry, how oily, how whatever my skin is doing, this stuff works. And it was only like $3 or $5. It wasn't expensive. I have so many other under eye setting powders, but this is the one that I use consistently. It is very rare that I use any of my other under eye setting powders. Not that they're not good, but this one is just like the best. I don't experience flashback with this. I have it on today. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't dry me out. Like, no matter how much I put on, it doesn't look bad at all. So I definitely recommend this, and it's very like inexpensive, and you do get a decent amount of product. Granted, you're not just like throwing it on your face, so it does last for a pretty long time, and for the price, you can't beat it. Next, for all over face powders, I have two different powders. The first one, this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder in the shade A Dark Cafe. It doesn't really give me any problems. I'm not too picky with my all over face powders, as long as it keeps me matte and does its job. you know, we're good. So I'm not too picky about those. And then my second all over face powder, this is the Makeup Forever Pro Finish multi-use powder foundation in the shade 178, y'all. But yeah, that's just what this one looks like. The Glam Twins talked about this powder a lot, and I finally got my hands on it, and I actually really enjoy it. Like I said, I'm not too picky about my all over face powders, so but it works for me. It keeps me matte, and it doesn't like dry out my skin, because some face powders do that, but I really enjoy it. Next, we're going to talk about eyeshadow palettes, and I really don't, these aren't like my, how do I explain it? Like, my favorite is like these type of palettes and not necessarily like these shades. So these are the little Huda Beauty little mini palettes, and they've come out with a bunch of different shades now, and I want to get my hands on all of them. But right now I just have the Warm Brown Obsessions and the Mauve Obsessions. I've shown these plenty of times before. I'm sure you guys know what they look like, but I'll just show you guys again what they look like. This is the Warm Brown Obsessions, and then this is the Mauve Obsessions. And I love these. These are amazing. They're compact, so they're really good for travel. You get, like, I don't want to blind you guys, but you get like a mirror, and the eyeshadows are amazing. I've used and abused these palettes, and these are definitely amazing. I haven't tried any of her big palettes, but from what I've watched, those are kind of hit or miss, so I think I'll stick to these. But I enjoy these, and I, like I said, want to try the other colors, so when I get my hands on those, you guys know you will be seeing them. You guys have seen these in videos before as well, but these are definitely my eyeshadow favorites of the month or the year. I haven't really worn eyeshadow a lot. An honorable mention is going to be my Juvia's Place eyeshadow palette. If I wasn't using my Huda Beauty, I was using one of my Juvia's Place palettes, or I was using Juvia's Place in conjunction with these. So when I did wear eyeshadow, it was either these, Juvia's Place, or both. But yeah. So moving on right along with the face products, this is the Saharan Blush Volume 1 palette from Juvia's Place. Now, first of all, I have complained about this shade falling out for as long as I can remember, so you guys don't want to hear me complain about that again, because it makes me upset when I do. But this palette is amazing. I love it. So you typically we get 2 highlighters, and then you have 3 blushes, and this shade right here for me is actually deep enough to be a contour shade. I use it to contour today, and then I have this blush Neo on right now. I love this palette. It is amazing. This highlighter shade that was in here before it fell out, it was one of my favorites. This is definitely a travel friendly palette, because you have 2 highlighter shades, you have 3 blushes, and if you're about my skin complexion, you also have a contour shade, and I feel like that is perfect. They also have a lighter version, which I don't have because it's too light for my skin tone, but it's dirty because I definitely use this a lot. But if you're in the market for a blush palette, I really recommend this one, and I should probably order another one just so I can have that highlight shade again. And I was really pressed when that fell out, but we're not going to talk about it anymore because I feel my feelings starting to get hurt all over again. So the next palette I have is a highlighter palette. This is the Innuendo palette by ColourPop, and again, we are not, I told you guys I have really bad luck, so this one fell out, which I didn't even get the chance to use this one before it fell out and shattered all over my carpet. But I used the other 5 of these highlighters, and this one is a little light for me to use on its own, so I typically mix it in, like these 2, typically mix it in with these other 3 shades. And again, very travel friendly. You get 6 different highlighters. You can make whatever shade you want to make. It's a whole lot easier than having to travel with a bunch of single individual highlighters, because you know you want to mix and match and make different shades, and you want to have different shades. So this is travel friendly. It wasn't expensive at all. I think it was like $15, so for 6 pretty decent sized highlighters for $15, and you can't beat that. So I do have this on my face today. I have Morning After, this shade right here, on my cheekbones, and then this shade up here called On the Loose. I have that on my brow bone and in my inner corner as a highlight. So definitely loved this palette. The next highlighter favorite I have, this is Laura Geller Gilded Honey, and oh, I love this highlighter so much. I'm so mad that I waited so long to get it, but they do have other shades in this, and there was another one that I wanted to try, but I haven't gotten my hands on it yet. but Laura Geller does some really good highlighters, so this is a really good golden highlighter if you are of a deeper skin complexion and you want like a true gold highlighter. I definitely recommend this one. Next, oh my gosh, I love this highlighter. This is the Makeup Forever Pro Fusion highlighter in the number 2. Oh my gosh, so I love this highlighter. When I got it, I was so excited. I was late on the bandwagon like I am with all of my other makeup when I got it, but when I did this, if you want that wet donut like highlighter look, I definitely recommend this one. They have a lighter shade, so if you're lighter and this one's too deep for you, they have one for you, so I highly recommend it. But if they ever stopped making this, I would probably cry and go stock up on all of them because they're amazing. My last highlighter favorite, I feel like this is everyone's favorite and rightfully so. This is the Anastasia and Amrezy highlighter. First of all, the packaging is it. The package is it. And then this is the color, and it does look very scary like in the pan because it looks really light, but I'm of a deeper complexion and it works for me. The key that I have learned when using this highlighter is to use a little bit at a time, blend it out, and then if I want to make it more intense or something like that, I'll apply some more. But the key is to blend out each time you're applying, or in between each time you're applying, because if you just start piling it on your face and not blending it out, it will start to look crazy and it will start to look ashy. But for the most part, the trick that I use, it seems to work, and I really love this. Last I checked, I think about a week or 2 ago, they did relaunch these because they sold out. I'm not sure if you could still get them like on this day. Because I don't know how much they restocked or anything. So if you can still get your hands on this, I definitely recommend you go out and get it, even if you're my skin complexion. I've seen this be used on so many different skin tones, so I highly recommend it. If you can get your hands on the Amrezy highlighter, you should definitely do so. And lastly, last favorites we're going to talk about are going to be lip products. So this is the Sephora Rouge Gel Lip Liner in the shade Molasses. Now, I initially bought one of these Sephora gel lip liners, and the name of the lip liner and the color, the way it looked online, I was assuming that it was going to be this shade right here, and it wasn't. It was lighter, so I had to reorder it, and I finally got the shade that I was looking for. I wanted a brown lip liner, so I love it. It is a twist up lip liner, which is amazing because I love my MAC Chestnut, my day one. I will never abandon it, but I hate having to sharpen it because I always either forget to bring a pencil sharpener or I lose my pencil sharpener and I have to buy another one. So I appreciate twist up lip liners, but the formula is great. They have a million colors, so you can find whatever color you're looking for. I definitely recommend these Sephora gel lip liners, and they weren't expensive at all. Pretty much anything in the Sephora collection is not too expensive, depending on what your idea of expensive is, but I recommend a lot of things from the Sephora brand. A lot of people overlook them, but they're actually pretty good. Next is a gloss. This is the ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lip, the Kathleen Lights X ColourPop collection, and I know you guys are probably looking at this and you're probably thinking, but I promise you guys, this color is amazing. With any of my new glosses, new lips, or anything like that, I always put a brown lip liner under it. That's how I make any of my nudes work. So this is no different. I love this color paired with the brown lip liner. It is amazing. I love the formula of this gloss, and this is in the shade Moonchild. I don't know if I said that, but this is Moonchild, and I love it. I love the packaging. This is one of my favorite glosses. Whenever I go somewhere to where I know I'm going to be using makeup, I always bring this gloss with me as one of my new glosses because I love it just that much. And my last gloss favorite is more of the brand of glosses itself, and these are the NYX butter glosses. I have no clue why I stopped using these. I have a few already, and then the Walmart down by my school ended up getting NYX, so I was in the makeup section one day and I just seen the NYX butter glosses, and I ended up getting, this is actually a new shade to me. This is Angel Food Cake. I have like praline, I have a red one, like the deep purple one, so I have other color, of the NYX butter glosses, but I seen this one and I had to get it. And I don't know why no one's talking about NYX butter glosses anymore. I know there's other glosses on the market, but for a drugstore gloss, this is amazing. I definitely recommend NYX butter glosses, and they're only like $4.99. Like, you can't beat that for the formula. you definitely can't beat it. And they have a lot of shades too, so you should get them if you don't already have them. Okay, you guys, that is it for this video. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I didn't have a lot of favorites, but I had a decent amount of favorites. So let me know down in the comments what your favorites are for the year of 2018. Can't believe it's 2019. I can't believe it. But let me know what your favorites are. Let me know if there's any products that you recommend. I haven't bought makeup in a really long time, but I think pretty soon I'm going to go on a big like makeup shopping spree and buy a bunch of makeup. So let me know what your recommendations are down in the comments, and I will see you guys in my next video.